What's up, guys? Good morning. It's been a it's been a long week. It is just a little past, what is it? A little past 5 in the morning here. You can see the sun's coming up over there. I know with the camera I have, you can't really see the gorgeousness of the sun coming up, but sun's coming up. Just pulled into the gym here and getting ready to get a morning workout in. But this has been a long week. I have not had a week that has felt this long in a long time. In fact, I am not someone who does a lot of naps. I know I've got friends that do naps and things like that, but usually if I take a nap, I don't sleep well the night. But yesterday, it was a long day, and the point of today's Dav Daily is the idea of being flexible, and I am not a flexible person in many aspects. I'm not talking about yoga. I'm not talking about hot yoga. I'm not talking about the downward dog position, right? I am 6'3", over 350 pounds. There is no downward dog. There is no yoga involved in this man's life. So that is not the flexible I'm talking about. The flexible I'm talking about is being able to adapt and adjust to what life throws at you. It's something that I've struggled with my entire life. I grew up in a very regimented and focused, schedule-wise life. My mom is very focused on the daily schedule, making sure everything is in line and everything happens in line. We don't deviate. There's no deviation. And so at a very young age, that was kind of put into me as you set a schedule and you follow the schedule, right? No matter how you feel, no matter what's going on in your head, no matter anxiety, stress, depression, nothing, you stick to the schedule. You do not stop, right? If you're tired, who cares? You just keep going. And that is kind of the mantra that I grew up with. And just like most anything, right? If you grow up learning something, if you grow up having that imparted on you, it is something that's part of you, and it's something that's hard to break. And I'm 35 years old now, and it's still something that I struggle with breaking all the time. And that is, I schedule everything. Literally, if you pull up my phone, my old Google Calendar is still linked in my phone, and it breaks down my entire day by the hour, sometimes by the 30 minutes and 15 minutes. And what I'll tell you is, in my experience, that has caused me a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, because dealing with when something doesn't go to plan, when something doesn't hit that 15-minute, 30-minute, hour timetable, it really starts to mess with your head. And I can say that I've had some struggles with friendships. I've had struggles with relationships because of that rudiment schedule. Not everyone runs their life by the minute. And I am, fortunately, for most of my life, that's how I've ran my life. Which means if I say that I'm going to be somewhere at, a quarter of the hour, I'm going to be there at a quarter of an hour. And if you show up late, I'm going to be anxious, stressed, and pissed off, because a quarter of an hour is a quarter of an hour, not 12:46. That's not a quarter of that's not a quarter of the hour. That's 1 minute late. It's unacceptable. And it's caused me a lot of stress. And I know there's a lot of folks out there who struggle on both sides of that equation. On the one side, being very rudimented, very, very structured, and having issues dealing with times when things don't go to plan. And then on the flip side, you've got folks who are very lackadaisy, very go with the flow, very, I'll take things as they come and I'll just do what I need to in the moment. And those two forces conflict a lot. And it's a balance that you need to play between the two to be healthy. Excuse me. It's a balance that I'm still working on. And it's a balance that I'm tested with every single day. Thankfully, with the job that I have, planning, structure, very calculated in everything, it makes me very successful in business. But in life, it hasn't made me that successful, as a lot of people don't, they don't handle that well. So the story that I have real quick for you is yesterday. I'm working on opening a store. I manage the IT of over 1,500 retail locations, opening new buildings, remodels, things like that. And yesterday I was meeting with my teams, and I noticed that one of the new stores, one of the very important stores that we're opening, still had open that they didn't have a phone system. And today is the day that they're supposed to have their phone system. So I said, where's these phones? Where are they? Why aren't they there? They were supposed to be there already. And my response was, oh, they're waiting to be picked up by FedEx. And I said, they have to be there and working tomorrow. If FedEx picks them up today, maybe they'll deliver them tomorrow. Maybe they won't. Maybe they don't deliver them until Monday. But either way, they're not going to be ready tomorrow. And I was starting to get into that panic mode of my schedule is not being followed. And the response was, well, that's where we are. Well, to me, that's unacceptable. So I literally got in my car. I drove to the warehouse. These phones were being kept. I picked the phones up and I drove. I don't even want to talk about how far. And I don't even want to talk about how many hours I drove in order to hand deliver these phones and install them myself. It's not my job. It's not my job to do. It is not anything to do with what I get paid to do, but it was needed to be done in order to get my project to a finalized and complete state on time. And the piece there is, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to handle that. I would have shut down. I would have freaked out. I would have gotten mad at people. I would have started making phone calls to bosses and to managers and directors, and I would have started laying into people because that's not acceptable. But thankfully, I've learned being flexible is very important. And I did what needed to be done, even though it wasn't my job to do. And though it caused me a lot of stress, it caused me a lot of anxiety, it wasn't as bad as it used to be. And that's kind of the point of these Davs Dailies, is learning where your opportunities are, where your weaknesses are, and working on those to make you a better person. No one's perfect. Even though I joke all the time about me being perfect, no one's perfect. So be flexible. Think about how you react to situations. Is it a little too lackadaisy, or maybe it's a little too structured? Think about how other people feel when you impose your ways on them. You don't want them to impose their ways on you. Be flexible in everything. Try to understand both sides of the argument, both sides of the coin, and you'll do a lot better, and it'll help you. Will the stress still be there? Yeah. Will the anxiety still be there? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it won't be as bad and it won't be as crushing. So guys, thank you very much for listening. I know this episode went a little long, but I thought it was important. I thought I could take something from my life that just occurred that caused me a lot of issues and stress and relay it to you and how I handled that situation. It was a pretty simple handle, and a lot of you will be like, well, yeah, seems pretty simple. For folks like me who live on a structured timetable, that simple thing right there, it's not as easy as you think. And I know some people out there can relate to that. So guys, take care of yourselves and each other. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and notification bell on for this channel. I appreciate it very much. This is a new adventure for me, as most of my content for the past 5 years has been based around video games, and it felt empty to me. Though I love it, and though I'll continue to cover video games and do video game content, I felt like I could add more to the audience, and you guys have responded incredible, absolutely incredible. I've never seen my videos do this well so quickly. And to each of you who are watching, to each of you who dropped me a message, to each of you who've left a comment, thank you very much. It means the world to me that these short videos are impacting you in some way. So guys, appreciate it very much. I'm going to go get my workout in and get my day going. See you tomorrow on Davs Daily.